So if you're a Montreal Canadiens fan, you're well aware that the Habs have the Florida Panthers first round pick in 2023. And guess what? That thing's unprotected. And that is huge, huge for the Montreal Canadiens because this 2023 draft is being called the strongest since the '03 draft, which is considered to maybe be the best and deepest draft in NHL history, 2003. And you're seeing GMs all over the league scrambling to get as many first round picks in this 2023 draft as possible. And even last year at the trade deadline, you saw a bunch of GMs refuse to give up their 2023 pick because they knew how strong it was. And dude, to me, I'm expecting huge things. Even Craig Conroy said it. He is the AGM for the Flames, and he goes out to a lot of games to like look at players and evaluate. He said there's guys in the projected to go in the second and third round that he's like, how is this guy not a first rounder? Oh yeah, because the draft is so deep. Like it's just amazing that they have Florida's pick in 2023. They managed to get that for a guy by the name of Ben Sherratt of all people. How is he to thank for a first round pick? Not first overall. That would be incredibly crazy. But guess what? It could theoretically happen. I made a video talking about this a little while ago, talking about how this could end up being such a fleece for the Montreal Canadiens because Florida wasn't off to the hottest start. Well, guess what? The stat is crazy. There's a ridiculous number of teams and a ridiculous consistency of stats where if you're in a playoff spot in American Thanksgiving, most likely you're going to make it to the playoffs. And if you're not by American Thanksgiving, you're most likely not going to make the playoffs. It's just how it rolls in the NHL. That's why it's like a watershed important marker in the season is American Thanksgiving to see if you're in a playoff spot or not, because I think it was like 77% of the time or something like that when I saw it on Montreal Hockey Now. So honestly, it's kind of crazy. And guess what? You guessed it. The Florida Panthers are not in a playoff spot right now. And hey, Habs fans are talking about this like crazy again because they have Florida's first round pick, but they looked at toughest schedules for the rest of the season. And again, it's a subjective stat, right? Who's tough, who's not. Like, I guess it's looked at by standings and stuff like that. But apparently, Florida has the toughest schedule to finish out the season for the NHL here, which honestly, dude, if Florida ends up being a lottery thing there for the Montreal Canadiens, where the Habs can get a lottery pick from Florida from Ben Sherratt, that would be jaw dropping here. And hey, even if it's like 15th overall, even if it's 15, 16, 17, 18, that's an amazing first round pick to get from a contender last year. Usually, when you're picking up first rounders from contenders, you're talking about 24th, 25th, 26th overall, even later, right? So the fact that they could get a pick from Florida that's under the 20s, let alone in the top 10, fingers crossed, that would be something special. And I tweeted about it. Could you imagine? I was joking, but could you imagine if Fantilli and Michkov, somehow players of those ilk, are able to come to the Montreal Canadiens from this upcoming draft? And don't forget that Ken Hughes was on the record this past week saying that he wants to acquire another first round pick in this 2023 draft, which would put him at 3-4, most likely the strongest draft since 2003, which would be just, I mean, the best thing possible for the rebuild. Unfortunately, my boy Sean Monahan might come at the expense of getting that first round pick, but hey, if they're going to get three awesome players in this first round of the draft, obviously there's going to be some misses, all right? Not everybody in the 2003 draft was a hit, right? There were some misses, so you got a hit, but you're going to have an amazing chance of doing so, better than in a lot of years going down the draft as far as depth. I just, I'm in awe. And if somehow Montreal gets a pick that's in the single digits from this Florida trade, I will just clap my hands. A huge round of applause for Kent Hughes. And again, it's not like this was done by giving up a star, right? I mean, this was done by giving a Ben Sherratt. Okay, I cannot stress that enough. So This could be such a fleece. It could be incredibly profitable for the Montreal Canadiens. This could set them up to be contenders for years and years and years to come. I've talked about this. You don't build your team through trades and free agency. That's how you supplement your team and get over the hump. But you build the core, the foundation of your team through the draft. Of course, there's exceptions. We're looking at one with the Montreal captain, Nick Suzuki, right? He was acquired through a trade. But when you look at the teams who win cups, generally it's built through the draft. Look at Boston. Look at Chicago, right? Look at LA when they were winning their cups. This is how it happens usually, right? So if you want to build a great team, you have to draft great. That's what you do. And the Habs are setting themselves up to do that in droves here. I honestly, I can't believe it. A round of applause for Ken Hughes. Seriously. And I hope that this draft pick from Florida ends up being top 10, top 5. How awesome would that be? I would love it. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Do you think Florida's going to make the playoffs? Are the Panthers going to make a comeback here and make the playoffs? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.